सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। So we'll be looking at the text Hastaamalakeeyam now. This Hastaamalakeeyam means that which belongs to Hastamalaka, or that which has been authored by Hastaamalaka. Now who is this Hastamalaka? So Hastamalaka is one of the famous Shishyas of Adi Shankara. So whenever we see even the photograph of Adi Shankara is always portrayed with 4 Sishyas sitting, and one of those 4 is Hastamalaka. And even the name Hastamalaka is actually it's not the original name of the person. In fact, I don't even know what the actual name is. We have to read the Shankara Vidya, I think. But he is called Hastamalaka. Why? Because Hastamalaka means what? Amalaka means this gooseberry, correct? Or amla only. Which again in Tamil we say what? Nellikani. So in Tamil also we have Ullangai Nellikani. So Hastamalaka means for whom the truth is like the amla which is there in his hand. So he knows it so clearly. How you can know the gooseberry which is in your hand very, very clearly, like this. In that manner, this person knows the truth about oneself. Even though you cannot know yourself as an object, as I have told you already, but it is referring to the clarity in terms of the knowledge. So that usage is both there in Sanskritam and Tamil, and it may be there in other regional languages, I think. Hastamalaka metaphor which is used to convey clarity in knowledge. It should be there, I think, in all Indian languages. So that itself shows the greatness of Hastamalaka. And how did he even get that name? There is an interesting story. If you read the Shankara Digvijaya, how Hastamalaka came to Acharya, there is a story that Shankaracharya was near this Kollur temple, Mukambika temple. He was traveling there with other Sishyas, and then he was going around different villages there with his Sishyas for Bhiksha. So one of the villages nearby there, in a place called Chitrapura, there is a village called Sri Valli, they say, or Sri Bali. And there were many Brahmanas, and who were all like Nityagnihotris. And Shankaracharya was going there for Bhiksha. And one of the Brahmana family there, they had a son who looked all fine, but who never spoke anything, or who, even though after Upanayanam also, he was not interested in Veda Dhyanam and all that. He was just sitting, idling away, not bothered about anything. And so his father was very worried. So Prabhakara Sharma, I think, is what the name is mentioned. So this Prabhakara was very worried that his son is sitting there like a fool or idiot and not interested in learning anything, even though they had done the Upanayana Samskara also. Still he was not doing anything. And like even today, in fact, today it is the other way around. That if you want to we want to start from Veda Pathashala, correct? And we approach so many people, nobody is ready to send their children. Everybody wants to send only for regular school and jobs and all that. They are more interested in Arthakama than Dharma. But nowadays, if they think that they are not no good in the school, somebody is not studying well, then they are ready to send such person to Veda Pathashala. So that means most of the Vaidikas we are creating in the new generation are all good for nothing otherwise. Then it's not going to be really a great thing, I think, going forward if we proceed like that. But in those days, since he did not go for Veda Dhyanam, his father felt that he is good for nothing. So he thought, at least I will send him along with some guru or somebody, let them take care of him. Because he felt that he is not doing anything really worthwhile. That is the idea he had. So he took him to Adi Shankara and prostrated and then said that this is my son and he is not talking to anybody, he is behaving as though he is a fool or idiot, whatever, correct, or a dumb person. So then Adi Shankara he looked at him and then felt karuna, we have to say, he was compassionate, and then he asked a question. In fact, I have even given those questions and then how Hastaamalakeeyam answered. The first two verses in the handout I have given are actually from the Shankara Vidya. It is not part of the Hastaamalakeeyam text itself. The actual verses are coming afterwards. There are 12 verses which are actually the Hastaamalakeeyam text. But in general, we also include the first two also, where the Adi Shankara is questioning the child, and then only he speaks the first time and he answers. So what is the question? So that is that we read now. Kastvam sisho kasya kutosi ganta kinnamate tvam kuta agatosi etan mayoktam vada cha arbhakatvam mat pritaye priti vivardhanosi. So Adi Shankara is asking, at least in the Shankara Vidya it is given like this, so many questions he is asking, as though like nowadays in application form and all we have to fill in so many things, correct? Like that. So Kastvam, who are you? Kastvam Sisho. Sisho means again a child, not even a Kumara. That means in those days even the Upanayana they did very early, I think, at the age of 5 and all that. Only recently, in fact, I went to Kaladi for one Upanayana where they did Upanayana at the age of 5 itself for a child, which is good, I think. Nowadays, otherwise they do it during the wedding only nowadays. Just before the wedding, which is mostly only the namesake. Because you are supposed to do the samskara and then the Gayatri Japa and all that, that is the Brahmanatvam itself. Vijatvam is basically your ability to do the Gayatri Japa, the Sandhya Vandanadi Karma, even the Samidhadanam and all that, that only gives you the status as a Dvija. And not only that, see this Vaidika Karma, even for a Vedantin I am saying, when we normally say Karma Yoga and Karma Pala Tyaga and all, we will talk about it later also. So normal, whatever Laukika Karma also, we say that you have a certain attitude towards that. Okay. But really speaking, the Nitya Karma which you are asked to do as your duty, correct? That is where your Yoga Buddhi will manifest the best, I think, because there immediately you don't see any phala also, correct? So every day you are asked to do at certain time, you have to get up at 4:30, you do all the things. If you see even the Nityanikam, the whatever, every day a Brahmana, what that person has to do, lot of things are there in that. You are supposed to do lot of things prayerfully, and you have to do all this Sandhya Vandanadi Karma and even Samidhadana and then Brahma Yajnam and whatever, some other Devata Pujana and all that. All that immediately you don't see any result, correct? So generally your tendency is to not do it, or at least children they do when the parents are actually a little bit forcing them initially. Once they become teenager and all that, they also don't want to do, because either the parents are not able to explain to them properly and make them do, or whatever. It's difficult, correct? Because you don't immediately see anything. but still you are supposed to do that. And further, as a yogi, you are supposed to give up even that phala, whatever the Shastra says that you will get adrishta phala, even that you are not really interested in. So that way, if you are able to do your nitya karma in spite of your likes and dislikes properly, that points out that you have a certain maturity with reference to your own likes and dislikes, correct? You are able to have certain mastery over your likes and dislikes. That's why you are able to hold on to a certain daily regimen itself. You are so disciplined that you are able to do that, because the natural tendency will be that you don't want to do it, correct? You just want to while away in your bed. Nobody wants to get up at 4:30 or even 5:30, correct? It becomes a problem. But if you are able to follow all that, because in those days, once you become a brahmachari, immediately you have to lead a disciplined life, correct? You go to a gurukulam means you are not even with your parents. The guru will make you do all these things and enforce a certain discipline. And then you are supposed to undergo all that discipline. And then, in fact, by the time you become a teenager, you are already used to all these things so much that I think you will not really, you don't even want to do it, you don't want to stop doing it because you are already so used to it by then, which is also a very good thing, I think. But nowadays, at least, if somebody is able to do all this nitya karma, means that shows that they have a certain mastery over their own likes and dislikes, which is a very important thing for a Vedantin also. One has to understand. That's why even yesterday that Swami was saying, correct? Don't think that just because you have come to a Vedanta retreat that I'll stop doing all karma and all that, which is a very, very important thing. In fact, now only you have to, even if you are not doing your nitya karma, etc., you have to double down and start. Learn, even if you don't know, learn it. It's not a very big deal. There are enough people who are interested to teach you. If you really want to learn something, you can always learn. Why I am saying is this. Recently, in fact, I was very surprised. Some of my college mates, I am saying, those who studied engineering with me and all that. So out of the blue, they wanted to learn how to do Sandhyavandanam. And they were asking me about that. So which is very interesting, because they were all brought up, even though they may, Brahmana Jati they may have been born, I think hardly they did any Sandhyavandanam and all that. Maybe they did some Upanayana and that's it. And they were all in college, they were Western educated, they were then in foreign countries and all that. After that they have now got some interest at the age of 50 now they are having an interest to, even to teach Achamanam is difficult to them. Because even to do this and all, we do it very subconsciously, correct? But when you teach only, you know how many things you have to do there. Simple thing, or even counting to teach them. There is a way we count when we do the japa, correct? Even teaching that is not very easy. But anyway, so initially, like even driving looks so difficult, car driving and all that, because all limbs you have to control initially. But once you learn, then you don't even, it becomes subconscious. Like that, all these things can be taught. But the thing is, nitya karma is the basis for one's growth in our tradition. Understand that. Even the success in your life is only because of your nitya karma. It is not measured in anything else, whether how much salary you earn, what kind of house you are living in, all that, nothing really matters. Are you able to do your nitya karma properly or not? Nainitya karma are you doing? At least to the best of your ability and knowledge. You cannot do all the Nityanikam. If I read out the entire Nityanikam which is there, even the most stringent Vaidika cannot do it today. So in this Kali Yuga, another problem is some people read all these things and then say that okay, it is too much, nobody can do this, so I won't do it. That is also a problem, correct? So in fact, I think Vidyaranya Swami somewhere even talks about this. He says that in Kali Yuga, in his time only he says that nobody can perfectly do all the whatever things which are there in the Dharma Shastras, whatever is mentioned. But still you have to do whatever you can do with the Yoga Buddhi. That is the most important thing in Kali Yuga. Don't think that you have to perfectly do everything. Particularly for a Vedantin, doing is more important than whether you are able to do it perfectly or not. Understand that. Swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhaya. Bhagavan says that. Swalpamapi. Even if you are able to do Sandhyavanam one time, it is better than not doing anything. Because somebody will say, no, all 3 times you have to do. Then he will say, no, in the afternoon I cannot do, I am in the office. So I won't do any all 3 times I won't do. Then it will become like that. It should not be like that. If you are able to do once, do. If you are able to do all 3, well and good. Or you do morning and evening, you do whatever. If you are able to do Brahma Yajnam also, do it. If not, also fine. Do all the Pitru Karma. Like that, this karma, all these daily prayers, one has to do. And that will only give you purity. Purity means what? Again I have told you, impurity is ragadvesha. Purity means you are free from binding desires. The freedom from the binding desires is the greatest qualification you can have for this knowledge. Therefore, as a Vedantin, you have to be even more focused on all this Nitya Karma, Naimitika Karma. Kamya Karma you don't have to do. Kamya Karma, in fact, even generally we say that even as a Vedantin, Nitya Naimitika Karma one has to do. Prayaschitta Karma also you can do. If you have done something wrong, you know that, at least you do some Prayaschitta so that you can get out of the whatever guilt and all that you have. These things you do. Kamya Karma you avoid. That is fine. That is the way which our Acharyas have given to us. And we have to follow that. And also there is no excuse, correct? Bhagavan himself says, Name parthasti kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. He says, see, hey Partha, I don't have anything to do in all 3 worlds. Whatever is there, I don't have anything to achieve. Correct? Bhagavan is everything, Bhagavan has everything. So, Name parthasti kartavyam. To be done, I don't have anything in all the 3 worlds. And he even explicitly says, Nana vaptam avaptavyam. So I don't have anything to be gained. I don't have anything to be given up also. Na avaptavyam, na anavaptavyam. Both are not there. Vendidal vendame. Like I said, it is there even here also similarly. He says, I don't have anything to be gained or I don't have anything to be gotten rid of also. But he says, Vartaye vacha karmani. Still I am doing karma. So if Bhagavan, Krishna can do karma, then nobody else can have any excuse, correct? Whoever you may be, whatever is your ashrama, etc., accordingly you have to do your dharma. That is the most important thing for us. And that will only give you maturity. Anyway, coming back to Hastamalaka, Hastamalaka was not doing his dharma basically as a brahmachari. So his father is worried about that. So he goes to Adi Shankara. And then Adi Shankara says, Kastvam Shisho. Who are you, oh child, Shishu? And Kutosi Ganta. Where are you going? Kim Namate. What is your name? Tvam Kuta Agatosi. From where have you come? All these things he is asking. Where are you going? Where have you come from? What is your name? Kasya also. Kasya Asi means who is your parent, to whom do you belong and all that. Correct? To which family you belong. Kasya Asi. So like this he is asking all these questions. Who are you? Who are your parents? Where are you coming from? Where are you going? So then he says, Etan Maya Uttam Vada. So whatever I have asked you here, please tell me. And further he says, Arbhaka Tvam. So Arbhaka can have many meanings. Arbhaka means child again. Or sometimes if you call an adult as Arbhaka, it means childish person or foolish or idiotic person also can be called as Arbhaka. But here I think, here also it can mean both, because Hastamalaka's father thinks that he is like a dumb person only. Right? So Arbhaka means child basically here. So hey Arbhaka, mat pritaye. So okay, even if you don't want to tell it for whatever, but for my sake, to please me, why don't you tell this? And further he says, Preeti Vivardhanosi. Generally with children and all we say, correct, you are samat, you are smart and all that. Like that he is saying, you are the one who is making me very pleased. He says, you are the one who increases my pleasure, something like that. It is my pleasure to be with you. Preeti Vivardhanaha Asi, you are the one who increases my joy, my pleasure. So it is my pleasure to be with you. You are a smart guy. Why don't you tell me all these things? Like this, Acharya is asking, then what did Hastaamalakeeyam say? According to the Shankaracharya again. Hastaamalakeeyam uvacha. Hastaamalakeeyam said, what did he say? Naham manushyaha. So this is the first time he is speaking, in fact. Then he says, Naham manushyaha. Nacha devayakshau. न ब्राह्मण क्षत्रिय वैश्य शूद्राः न ब्रह्मचारी न गृही वनस्थः भिक्षुः न चाहं निजबोधरूपः. So this is the answer he is giving. Naham manushyaha, I am not a human being. Then what? Not even deva or yaksha. So different kinds of divine beings, let us say, okay, devas, yakshas. So I am not a deva, I am not a yaksha also. So in fact, he is asking, who are you? But he is answering what all he is not, he is saying, correct? I am not a manushya. Mean basically he is saying, I don't have any identity with my body, mind, sense complex. That's what is being meant here. Or any other. Here I have this body. Let us say later on I will have Deva's body. Before I had some Deva, I was in Swarga and now I am born here. Even then what? I don't have any identity with Deva or Yaksha body also. And further, in fact, he makes it clear, I don't have any identification with Varna or Ashrama. Yeah, Varna and Ashrama are all again specific to the body, mind, sense complex only. So, na brahmana, kshatriya, vaishya, shudra. I am not a brahmana, I am not a kshatriya, I am not a vaishya, I am not a shudra. And not only that, none of the ashramas also, I don't identify with any ashrama. Na brahmachari, I am not a brahmachari. Na grihi, na vanasthaha. Bhikshuhu, na chaham. Bhikshuhu means sannyasi here. Yes? The sannyasis were, even brahmacharis also went for bhiksha, correct? But sannyasis were specifically called as bhikshus, and that word is there even in Brihadaranyaka. Bhikshacharyam charanti. Okay, bhikshacharyam. Like that, the bhikshu means one who goes and takes food from others, correct? Begs for food, you can say. And even in the Upanayana also, Samskara, we have one step, Bhavati Bhikshantehi, like that. The brahmachari also is supposed to lead a disciplined life like that and go for Bhiksha and collect food and come and then give it to the Gurukulam and they cook. Or whatever, if he gets a cooked food, they can also eat, I think. But nobody is doing all that nowadays. Only it is like only a ceremony. In that, in fact, everybody, it's a photo opportunity. Everybody is putting some rice, Bhiksha, and they stand in line for that. That's all is there nowadays. In reality, nothing happens. So, he says, I am none of this ashrama. All the four varnas, I don't have any identification. I am not any of that, nor any of the ashramas. I am not a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprasthi also. Vanasthaha, na, bhikshuhu, na. Then who are you? So you have told what all you are not, you are not, you are not. But this shows certain clarity, correct? Like I said, all that ignorance one has is because of the false identification with one's own body, mind, sense complex. That is the greatest ignorance. And that false identification, with that comes all problems also. As soon as you get up, you identify with the body, mind, sense complex, and all the problems of that individual is now your problem. In deep sleep, there is no individuality. then so happy. You may have n number of problems while awake. None of that is coming along with you either in dream, provided you have a nice dream. Many times people wish you have sweet dreams and all that. If you have a sweet dream, then fine. At least in sweet dream you are enjoying something. You are enjoying with your friends. All that can happen also. Again in the Brihadaranyaka also it comes. So Bhashyakara says even that is due to your karma. Whether if the punya is exhausting in your dream, then you have sweet dreams. Just because somebody wishes you, I don't think you are going to have sweet dream anyway. But it is your own papa and punya only there. If you have a nightmare, that also is your papa is unfolding. But you can have a very nice day and have a nightmare also. That is another thing. In the waking, punya is exhausting. In the dream, it has become papa. It can be other way around also. You had a miserable day and then you sleep and you have a nice dream. In fact, from this what the Upanishad uses an interesting word. It says ananvagataha, like that it says. Means you don't carry one from the waking, you don't carry anything into your dream. And then in the dream you may do good deeds, you may do bad deeds, whatever it is. You may kill somebody also. But then you don't carry that into, it doesn't count in waking, correct? You don't carry anything between these states. And from this what can we understand? None of this is intrinsic to me, correct? That's what the Upanishad is trying to point out. The entire waking identity and individuality, etc., it is not intrinsic to me. It is only you can say adventitious and all that. They have a word in English, correct? It is only adventitious. It is transient. It's not part of my very nature. If it is part of my nature, then like the fire which always is hot and bright, it should always be there with me. Whatever is my nature, I can never get rid of it or I can never leave it, correct? If something is my Swarupa, that Swarupa can never go away from me. But individuality, which I think is my reality, is not like that. Because I am able to suspend my individuality, I don't take it along with me everywhere. It just gets stuck. The waking individuality is only in waking. Dream individuality is only in dream. And waking does not apply in dream. You can eat a lot in waking and then get up in dream desperately hungry. And you are now and thirsty also, let us say. And then you go towards water. That also becomes mirage water. What will you do? And then you are desperate. Nobody is giving you any water and you find yourself in a desert. All these things can happen. So there is no connection between the two. So from this what do we understand? And then you go into deep sleep. Nothing is there. There is no second thing only. You don't even know. You cannot say I am also in deep sleep. You are not you are not aware of yourself. You are not aware of anything else. Only ekatvam is there. Oneness. Because there is oneness, there is no second thing. You don't know yourself as a knower also. Understand that. There is no knower. The knower, from this what do we understand? The status of being a knower also is dependent on a known object being there. Correct? If there is no known object, I am not a knower. The status of being a knower also is a relative status. There is no knower. But I am still conscious entity only. I am the one who is aware of everything. I was aware that I didn't know anything. I didn't know myself also. All these things I can recollect after getting up. But that means I have always been this Chetana Vastu, you can say. I am the entity who is conscious. This consciousness alone does not leave me, correct? Even while awake, I am a conscious entity. In dream also I am a conscious entity. Some people say in deep sleep, you don't have any consciousness. Buddhists will say there is only shunya. But if it is shunya, then how do you get up again? We don't accept Shunya, even to know Shunya, there has to be a conscious entity, correct? Who is saying there is Shunya? Like, see, even modern science also says vacuum. Means nothing is there. Means, right? Who is saying there is vacuum? There has to be a conscious entity to say there is a vacuum. So these are all important things to understand. In fact, modern Vedanta, there is a lot of confusion, correct? Anybody can say anything once they have. People think that most of the problem is there because people think that somebody has a reputation, and then many times whatever they say you don't understand also. Then you think that okay, he is saying something which I cannot understand, means that fellow has to be a great guy. Okay, that is the thinking most people have. So anything they say will go, and some quotation and this and that also keeps coming. Nowadays it is worse because in WhatsApp also it will come. You don't even know really somebody said it or not, but they just put it under the name. In fact, I get so many things that Adi Shankara has said this and all that. You can never find anything like that anywhere in any of the works of Shankaracharya also. But it is all something, or whoever wants, they can spread anything now. So 99% of what is forwarded is all false. Understand that. Or at least there is no, you have to see whether it is really true or not. You cannot take anything for granted. So, what are all these notions which are floating around? One of the notions is that truth is like truth cannot be known, or truth cannot be even defined. This is a very popular thing. That means you are a great philosopher. They think that if somebody says no, nobody can define what is truth. Truth is a pathless land. You cannot go there. As soon as you try to define the truth, it is not available to you anymore. Because once you define it as this, then it is no more there, correct? Something else also will pop up, let us say, which you are not able to cover. So nobody can define truth. Then how are you going to reach it? So why are you going and listening to all these gurus? Don't listen to anybody. In fact, you should not listen to the guy who is saying this also, but that guy still says, hoping that you will all listen. That is the irony there. But anyway, so there are notions going around like this. Truth itself cannot be defined. Then why are you even studying anything? Vedanta, etc. In fact, in our Swamiji, in 1980s, he used to travel all over the world, giving lectures in different places. Okay. So he was going on a lecture tour in US. In one university, one professor, somebody, I think that professor was really a philosophy professor or some other professor, came and told Swamiji. Swamiji was supposed to give a lecture in the university. Okay. So this professor came before then, the previous day only, to meet Swamiji, and asked Swamiji. He told Swamiji that you cannot define what is truth. So why are you even, what are you going to really talk about or something like that? Okay. Then Swamiji said, no, we can very well define truth. What is the problem? I will give you a definition of truth which will satisfy you. Okay. So then this person said, okay, I thought you cannot define truth. Give me the definition. And Swamiji said that whatever can never be negated is the truth. Correct? Whatever that can be never negated is the truth. Now you negate this definition. You cannot negate this definition also. Correct? In fact, Swamiji did not say anything new. This is said in the Taittiriya Upanishad Bhashya. Correct? Bhashyakara says, Yad rupena yen nishitam bhavati, tat rupena tanna vyabhicharati iti satyam. So he is defining satyam there. Means once you have ascertained something as this, you can never, that means it never changes its swarupa. Once you have ascertained it as this, it is always like that, you can never negate it. That alone is truth, correct? But if you see a snake on rope, snake can be negated, correct? That means snake becomes false. Anything that can be negated is false. Yadrupena nisitam bhavati, tadrupam vyabhicharati iti anritam, he says. He defines anritam also like that. Once you have ascertained as this, but after ascertaining as this, it changes its swarupa, its very nature, means it is false. First you say that it is snake, then it has become rope. And rope also is not ultimately Satyam, correct? Rope is only yarn, you say. Then it is no more rope also. There is only really yarn. Yarn is only molecule, if you say, means yarn also is gone. Molecule is only atom, means molecule is gone. Like this you can keep on going. Even if you keep on going like that, finally you have to come to Atma. Atma alone is something which can never be negated, correct? But anyway, so Swamiji gave this definition which is rooted in the Shastra. He said that truth is something which can never be negated. Then that professor went away. Immediately he could not do anything. Then he thought about it all night. He could not get sleep. Because till then he thought that truth itself can never be defined. Nobody can define it. Then Swamiji defined it. And he could not get sleep also. He thought the entire night he thought that he will somehow break this. He could not. Then he came next day. Before the Swamiji's lecture only he came. And then he said, okay, I agree with your definition. Your definition can never be, this definition is fine, but still you have a problem. What is that? He says there is nothing called truth. Okay, first he said you cannot define truth. After saying that, after the definition of truth has been given, he said there is nothing like this. Okay. Then Swami said, no, truth is definitely there, I will teach you. Because he said everything can be negated in this world. So I will talk about it in my class or in my lecture. Then he said, no, I cannot wait till then. You have to tell me now. Then Swamiji said, the negator can never be negated. Understand that. Everything can be negated. Who is negating? The negator can never be negated. Understand that. So always the conscious entity has to be there to cognize anything. That consciousness can never go away anywhere. It is the only invariable. Everything is variable. But even to know the variation, the invariable has to be there, correct? Otherwise you won't even know something is changing. Even to cognize change, the changeless consciousness has to be there. Is that clear? And that is you. And you can never be negated. The negator can never be negated. That is the Siddhanta. Understand that? It's a simple thing actually. And that Swarupa of that negator can be taught through words. That is our Shastra. So don't let anybody confuse you with all this mumbo jumbo. Anybody can use any words and appear as though they are intellectual and all that. These people are not really intellectuals. Understand that. Just because somebody is talking something which you don't understand, don't think he is a great or anything. In fact, even Einstein or somebody even said, you are really knowledgeable only if you are able to explain something to even a 5-year-old. Correct? That means your knowledge is so clear and your communication ability is so good that you are able to explain everything clearly. In fact, one more thing Swamiji used to say is that don't think that whatever I am teaching is simple. It appears simple because I am very clear. Understand that. The clarity is the one which is making it look as though it is simple. So, it is not neither simple or simplistic. This is Sukshma only. The Upanishad itself says that Shurasya Dhara and all that. It is like walking on the razor's edge. Like that Kathopanishad says. And even yesterday I said, correct, Bhagavan is saying, or even in Kathopanishad only, Shravanayapi Bahubiri Shrinvantopi Bahavo Yanna Vidyuhu. Bahavo Yanna Vidyuhu, like that. Even after listening, many people do not get it. But if it is appearing to you as very simple in the class, that is because we are able to communicate it clearly. Clarity is the important thing here. And this truth can be defined, truth can be communicated, truth can be understood, and you also can again teach it to somebody. That's how the whole Guru Shishya Parampara is there still. This unbroken lineage is there, very important. And that is why the Sampradaya means the methodology to teach also is there. It is very important that one understands this teaching methodology Along with the knowledge, you should know how to teach. Then only one can be a guru. Otherwise, that person cannot be even considered as a guru. This also Shankaracharya says very clearly. So those things are very important. That there is a truth, and that truth can be communicated clearly. It can be understood. So all these things, we are not just saying this. These are all what, in fact, nowadays there is one very popular word called anti-fragile. One person has popularized it. That's an interesting idea. So what he says is, because nowadays every other day some scientific study they say, correct? All these scientific studies are mostly probabilistic, understand that. And we don't even know what sample they are using and all that. But they simply generalize everything. So today somebody will say tea is very bad. And tomorrow you will say tea is the best thing because it has flavonoids, it has this, that, some antioxidant. You don't know what to believe, correct? One day is, many of these studies, in fact, you cannot even reproduce it again, I think. There is a crisis in the scientific community now, really speaking, because most of even the peer-reviewed things and all that, I don't know whether they will be able to reproduce it again. So a lot of things are going around like this. So you don't know what to believe. Better is whatever has worked from your party Vaidyam is better, correct? Because that has come down for ages and whatever has worked, that will at least you can go along with that. It will not at least make it worse. Sometimes all these new fads can make the thing worse than whatever it is not even really curing you of anything, but it may give, along with back pain, a headache also, because only side effect is there. So anyway, I'm digressing. The point here is we have to stick with the parampara. That is why the sampradaya and parampara is very important. And a guru must have one's own guru also. In fact, that is why all Upanishads also you see why somebody goes to somebody and learns, correct? It is always like that. Narada went to Sanat Kumara, Nachiketa went to Yama. Okay, you take Mundaka Upanishad also, it starts with Brahma onwards and then it gives Brahma taught to Angiras, Angiras taught to Atharva. Like that, it is talking about it, correct? Or you take Shvetaketu went to his father and asked, then he taught him. And even Rama went to Ashishta. Rama is an avatara. Why Rama is saying that Rama goes to a guru? Then what is your problem about going to a guru? Correct? Or Krishna has gone to Sandipani. They all went to Gurukula. Why should Krishna go to Gurukula then? If guru is not needed, I am saying. So they were all already born into this parampara. Even though we say that the parampara started from Ishvara, even Ishvara avatara has to follow the same parampara, correct? Has to show in practice that even though I am an avatara, I am not saying that I am free from a guru parampara or anything. In fact, Bhagavan is validating his own parampara which he has started, correct? We have to take it like that. Even Bhagavan is not an exception for that. Bhagavan himself subjects himself to the Gurukula Vasa, studying from a guru and all that. That is very important. Even here you can say, because Hastaamalakeeyam straight away is saying like this, then why should I go to a guru? Like Hastaamalakeeyam, I also, if you are able to say that, that's a different thing. Okay? But he is straight away saying that I am none of these things. Then what is? He says, Nija Bodha Rupaha. So Nija Bodha means Satchit. Nija means Satyam, correct? I am of the Swarupa of this, I am the only Nija Vastu, I am the only reality, because everything else is changing, everything is only names and forms. I am the only content. The content of each and every cognition is myself. The object of cognition keep on changing, correct? You can know different things. But everything, the consciousness is the invariable in each and every cognition. That consciousness is the basis for the knower, known and means of knowledge, everything. The Triputi, as we say, there is a Pramata, Prameya and Pramana. Means the knower, the known object and the means of knowledge, all of them, in each and every cognition, all of them are there. But all of them, what is the basis for all of them? It is only consciousness is this Nija Bodha, Satchit, like we say. Since it is the basis for all, the whole world can be divided into only subject object. Correct? There are only two things are there, really speaking, subject and object. And then, but my reality is that I am the content of both the subject and object. Once you understand that, then you are Ananta, correct? Because you are not anymore restricted by either subject or the objective world. You are the content of both the subject and object. That is your very nature. So even Nijabodha Rupaha you have understood properly means the Anantatvam is by implication. It will automatically come. So this is nothing but Pratyam Jnanam Anantam. And Anantam means again by implication Ananda also has to be there. Correct? Because Ananta means you are no more a wanting person. You do not lack anything. Therefore there is no scope of any sorrow or even a whiff of sorrow or anything can never be there. That is my Swarupa. I am the source of all happiness. Then where is the question of feeling any sorrow? There is nothing. Atmanyeva Atmana Tushtaha and all this, like this is said, correct? That it is said in so many words that you don't depend on any particular object or any particular experience or anything for your own Ananda. That is what is Atmanyeva. Atmana Tutta means what? In myself, I am happy by myself. Okay. In myself, I am happy by myself. I can say in English it doesn't make much sense, but the idea is what? You don't depend on anything else. Any dependence on another itself is a problem always. In fact, there is no other thing. That also is knowledge, part of this knowledge. And also, even for my own, this Ananda, again, it is my very nature. Understand? It is not an experiential Ananda which we are talking about, because any experiential Ananda also will come and go. Right? It cannot last forever. That's why the Vedantic Ananda, in fact, this also is there is a Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Like this, it is there in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. There, the Bhashyakara talks about this very clearly. Because the Purva Pakshi says, how can Brahman be Ananda? Because Ananda is we only know experiential happiness, correct? And experiential happiness comes and goes. It never lasts forever. So how can you say Brahman on one end you are saying is limitless, on the other end you are saying it is Ananda? How is it possible? Then Bhashyakara says, no. Here experiential Ananda is not meant. It is Swarupa Ananda. Even knowledge also. Jnanam also, when it is said as a word to reveal Brahman, the Purva Paksha is what? The opponent comes and says, how can you say Brahman is Jnanam? Because they only know Vritti Jnanam, means the knowledge which we gain through our mind, correct? Any knowledge we gain is only through the mind, means there is a certain modification of the mind, and that alone produces any cognition. But then that modification of the mind doesn't last forever, correct? In fact, it has to keep on changing. Then only you can even cognize different objects. Otherwise, if your mind is stuck in only one thing, means you cannot know anything else. But that's not how it is, correct? For Vyavahara, our mind has to keep on changing. Then how can you say this Jnana Kriya is Brahman? Because any activity which leads to some cognition of an object is transitory. It is transient. How can it be the limitless? It's even there what we say, no. We agree that there is Vritti Jnanam. In fact, the Vritti Jnanam, the Mano Vritti itself, the Vritti Jnanam, the word added to there is only figurative really. Because the real there is only one conscious entity. And this conscious entity is manifest in the modification of mind. Therefore, we also add the Jnanam to that as a figurative usage. In reality, consciousness is only one, and it is its very nature. and there is no activity or anything, there is no any change there, this conscious entity is always there. Like even the nearest example which Bhashyakara gives is the sun itself. Sun is always bright, correct? Whether it is day or night doesn't matter. Day or night is only for you. There is no day or night in sun, correct? Sun is always of the same nature. Like that, whether you know something or you don't know something, it doesn't matter to Atma. Atma is always of the nature of consciousness only. But like even we say that the sun brightens up this place, let us say, I say like that, so that I can know something. Okay? But really, did the sun do anything? The actual imputation of an activity on the sun, like saying that sun only has brightened up this place for me to know. If I say that, did the sun do anything? Did the brightening activity start? Sun was not brightening before, now only it has started to brighten. It is not like that, correct? Sun is of the same nature always. This is only with reference to whether the sunlight is now falling or not and all that, depending on your position and all that, we say that sun has now brightened this. Like that, consciousness is always the same, but it can manifest in your mind, and that we call it as though it has now become jnanam. It is helping you to know and all that. So this way we have to understand that my Swarupa is this unchanging reality, and this is always of the nature of consciousness. It is self-luminous. That's what we say, Swayam Jyotihi. This Nija Bodha means what? It is self-luminous and self-existent reality. Its existence need not be proved by using any means of knowledge. That is why it is self-existent. Correct? I am is the truth. You don't have to use any means of knowledge to actually establish I am and even to know I am. Both are, it is self-existent and self-luminous reality, and it is free from the body, mind, sense complex. Understand that it is other than, so Dehadi Sanghata Vyatirikta Atma. That is the first part. The first entire thing is to only show that this Atma is Deha Vyatirikta. Deha means here all Dehas are included. Whether it is Sthula Deha, Sukshma Deha, Karana Sharira, like that and all we say. Correct? There is a gross body, physical body. Then we also have Sukshma Sharira, which has, we say, 18 components to that. What are those 18? There is all the Pancha Jnanendriya list. First we say, correct? 5 sense organs are there. Then 5 organs of action are there. Karmendriya are there. Vak, Pani, Pada, Payu, Upastha, like that. And then Pancha Prana also we say. Prano, Pana, Vyana, Udana, Samana. Correct? So Pancha Prana, 15. Then even the mind also we divide it into 3 or sometimes 4 also. Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chitta. Okay? Now, all these things, we have identification with all these things, correct? That is where the problem is. But the Viveka Jnanam means what? Separating out and know. No. Paguttarive, even in Tamil we say, correct? Paguttu means what? You differentiate, discriminate and know. That is the Viveka Jnanam we talk about. That Viveka is what? None of this is I. Because these are all only again objects of my knowledge, correct? I said Vedanta is very simple. Whatever I know is not I. That is the first step. Second step is what? I alone, I am the Nija. I alone, I am the invariable in each and every cognition. Invariable alone is reality. Whatever is varying is all false. It is only an appearance. It is all Anritam. Therefore, I alone, I am there. There is no second entity really speaking. Any other thing is all only false appearance. It appears. In fact, the false appearance part, like I told you, every scientist also understands that. Because everything is 99% space, really. Then what is appearing as all these things? It's all only Maya, really. It's only false appearance, really speaking. And I am the only truth, Nija Bodha. And this truth is, again, is it Jada? Means no. That's why we have to say it is Chetana or Bodha Rupa. It is conscious entity, but this consciousness is not like some quality. It is its very nature. It is the only real entity. It is also a conscious entity, and that being the only entity, it is also limitless. But it's not constrained by any kind of limitations, etc. you can think of, and that is the Swarupa here, Nija Bodha Rupa. So we'll continue the actual text, we'll see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.